there's no reason why we can't have an environmental investment trust and provide one layer of a capital stack that's going to be important to building these projects. But that's, that's like a specific thing. But can I just use like a quick metaphor for everyone here? Because you brought up the abundance agenda. Does anyone know what a trophic cascade is? Any ecologists in the room? A couple of nodding heads. So a trophic cascade is this theory that when you remove an apex predator from the environment, everything goes out of balance. So the classic example is Yellowstone National Park. 1920s, all the farmers and the ranchers around Yellowstone Park are angry that the wolves are coming out of the park and killing their livestock. So they convince the federal government to kill all of the wolves. What happens? Well, as a result, the elk population explodes because there's no predators to take care of the elk anymore. What happens when there's no predators to scare the elk away? They eat their way through the entire forest. So they denude the entire land. When they denude the land, all the little critters have no place to hide. So as beavers in particular disappear from the riverways, and as a result, there's no place for the fish to live. And as a result of the critters disappearing, all the birds of prey disappear. And after a period of decades, what you see in Yellowstone National Park is this complete barren wasteland where there's a ton of elk and not much else. 1995, they reintroduced wolves into Yellowstone National Park. Within years, the balance of the environment starts to reform. I mean, you got to imagine, what the wolves did was actually reshape the entire river, the Yellowstone River that's going through the national park. Because what happens is that when you take away all of the foliage around the riverbanks start to change. And all of this nice meandering river that provided this wonderful habitat for the critters starts to disappear. Everything goes awry. And when the winter snows melt, the river floods, and all those ranchers and farmers who were concerned about their livestock get it in the end anyway. We're the wolves. The labor movement are the wolves. You want an economy that's going to be balanced and fair and productive, you need to have the labor movement involved in these discussions. So when you hear about an abundance agenda that talks about cutting red tape, all for it. My members get very frustrated when a project that should have started 6 months ago is still on the drawing board. But if you don't have the labor movement involved, if you don't have working class, not middle class, working class voices as part of the process, you're going to continue to see these projects that are done cheaply and at the worst possible level of exploitation. And that's one of the things that we're trying to defeat in Rhode Island. So, I mean, and it's really starting to work.